There are two kinds of people in the world: those we only meet for a few seconds, but who leave a hugely positive impression, making us love life more, be happier, and trust people more. And those who make us feel uncomfortable, annoyed, lose faith, and feel desperate. These are the people you wouldn't want to meet for even a few seconds. As I get older, I realize that not everyone deserves our respect or trust. These people are becoming more common, and sometimes the most important thing we need to learn is not to pay attention to what they say or think. Stoicism tells us that everyone only cares about themselves and their own feelings and interests. Today we will talk about 9 types of people you don't need to trust or respect. Let's learn how to spot them and how to protect ourselves from the bad things they might do. Before we start, I have a challenge for you. Watch the video until the end and pay special attention to one of the 9 types I talk about. Only one of these people could really help you learn more about yourself and the world around you. If you accept my challenge, you will create a space where we can learn and grow from each other's experiences and perspectives. Number 1. The narcissist. We often come across people whose haughtiness wears us down. Someone who is excessively self-loving, or what is commonly known as a narcissist, is always trying to get attention and praise from others while ignoring the contributions of others. This behavior not only lowers the value of relationships, but can also create a toxic environment. For example, a manager at work who always wants attention and praise from others will quickly claim all the credit without acknowledging the contributions of team members. In meetings, they often ignore or even argue with their colleagues' ideas just to make their own point. Researchers in psychology have found that people with these traits often have a deep fear of not being liked or noticed, so they try to make up for it by controlling their feelings and how they look in public. Stoic philosophy, which stresses peace and acceptance, can help us understand these kinds of people and deal with them better. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "When you are upset about something outside of yourself, it's not the thing itself that bothers you, it's your judgment of it, and you can wipe this out at a moment's notice." This helps us understand that we don't have to be swept away by our negative emotions. Instead, we can choose a more composed and self-directed approach. In the journey of confronting and understanding egotistical individuals, we not only learn how to protect ourselves from negative influences, but we also develop patience and inner strength. By applying lessons from Stoicism, we learn to stay calm not only in interactions, but also in how we react to the world around us. The word narcissism comes from the Greek myth of Narcissus and means being too focused on yourself and your own wants. Narcissists are people who think they are better than others, need to be admired, and don't care about other people. People with these traits can end up in unhealthy relationships and settings, which can hurt not only themselves, but also those around them. Knowing the main characteristics and actions of narcissists can help you spot them and deal with them in a healthy way. A big view of oneself. Narcissists often think too highly of themselves and how important and skilled they are. They think they are unique and special and deserve praise and respect. This sense of grandeur can show up in many ways, such as bragging about accomplishments, inflating skills, and wanting praise without achieving anything comparable. Need for too much admiration. One thing that sets narcissists apart is their never-ending need for approval and praise from other people. To boost their sense of self-worth, they are always looking for praise and approval. It's possible for this need for attention to make them manipulate events and people to stay in the spotlight. Not having empathy. People who are narcissists have a hard time understanding or caring about other people's feelings and wants. They don't care about how their actions affect other people because they don't have empathy. This often causes mental harm and strained relationships. Behavior that is manipulative and exploitative. Narcissists often use manipulation and abuse to keep up their sense of self-worth and reach their goals. The people they take advantage of don't care about their own well-being. They just use others to get what they want. This kind of behavior includes lying, tricking, and taking advantage of people who are weak. Being open to criticism. Narcissists seem confident, but they are very sensitive to criticism and slights they think they have been given. They see any kind of criticism or rejection as a direct threat to their self-esteem. This makes them act defensively, like getting angry, denying it, or even hurting the person they think is criticizing them. It's important to know how to deal with narcissists by recognizing their traits and habits. You can protect yourself from their toxic influence and keep healthier relationships by understanding their need for admiration, lack of empathy, and manipulative habits. Number 2. The manipulator. In unhealthy relationships, manipulators hide their true selves well, making them hard to spot. They not only make victims suspicious and break trust, but they also make them feel helpless and controlled like puppets in their own game. Dr. Danielle Hahn vividly describes this behavior as a carefully planned manipulative strategy. They often say things like, "You're overreacting," "That's not what I meant," or "You're crazy," to twist the truth, weaken the other person's judgment, and make them doubt themselves. This creates a vortex of darkness where victims lose their own power and voice. When we look at specific signs, we see that this kind of psychological manipulation is often done in a subtle and smart way. Victims may not realize how bad things are until they are really into them. It's important to learn to spot these behaviors and deal with them honestly. Stoic philosophy, which stresses understanding and accepting the things we can't change, gives us tools to fight manipulation. It stresses building inner strength and not letting outside forces weaken us. As the Stoic philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about how you can use Marcus Aurelius's advice to spot and fight manipulators in your life. This question isn't just a way to boost your confidence, it's also a powerful reminder that you have the power to change the world around you. Join the conversation in the comments. Have you ever dealt with manipulators? Tell us about it and share what you did to find and beat them. Together, we can learn and get stronger. One of the hardest things about life is figuring out who doesn't deserve our trust or respect and staying away from them. Third parties always feel like they're being treated unfairly and are having a bad time. This can be a real test because they're trying to get our sympathy and can also drain our energy and good spirits without meaning to. Number 3. The victim. A victim always thinks negatively and says that other people are to blame for their problems. They also say that their actions don't help solve their problems, which makes them feel completely helpless. We may meet this kind of person every day and feel sorry for them and want to help, but we don't realize that they may use our sympathy for their own gain. Victims often mess up the energy around them by always blaming others or events for their problems. This not only makes the environment bad, but it also makes them need other people's sympathy and care to feel better about themselves. Epiphany, a Stoic philosopher, said that what counts is not what happens to you, but how you deal with it. This statement is especially true for victims. They choose to see things negatively instead of taking responsibility and trying to make things better. One example of this is when one person always feels abused. For example, Mike and Linda work together in a small office in the city, but Linda often feels exploited by Mike. Mike, who always acts like the victim, seems to use his feelings to control Linda. Whenever there's a new project, Mike always says he's under a lot of stress and can't do much, leaving Linda to do most of the work. He also often asks Linda and those around him to feel sorry for him, but he never thanks them or acknowledges their efforts. Over time, Linda realizes that Mike's complaints are just a way for him to avoid responsibility and put the blame on others, which drains the relationship's positive energy and makes Linda feel helpless. Linda learns to set limits with Mike by not letting his feelings control her and telling him to deal with problems instead of avoiding them. Linda also sees that she needs to take care of her own health and balance first. How do you protect yourself from people who take advantage of your compassion? It's important to know when your compassion is being used against you and maintain healthy limits in that relationship. Being deeply aware of how harmful it is to play the victim not only helps you stay safe, but it also teaches the person how to save themselves instead of waiting for help from others. When someone has the victim mentality, they think they are always the victim of their circumstances or other people's acts. This way of thinking can be bad because it makes people feel powerless, like they don't have any responsibilities, and like they can't control their life. Adopting a stern attitude can help people get over this way of thinking by making them more resilient, self-disciplined, and responsible for their actions. Take responsibility for yourself. It's very important to take responsibility for your deeds and choices. This doesn't mean you have to blame yourself for everything that goes wrong. It just means you know you can handle things in a way that fits with your values. Application. Think about times when you felt like a victim in the past and figure out what you could have done differently. Think about what you can do differently next time something similar comes up. Enjoy the present moment. Stoicism teaches us to live in the present and not worry about wrongs done in the past or worries about what might happen in the future. Paying attention to the present lets you make changes that will make things better. Useful tip. Mindfulness and meditation can help you stay in the present moment. Fully participate in the things and people you're doing now. Learn to be resilient in the face of hardship. Explain. Problems will always be a part of life. Instead of seeing problems as impossible to solve, see them as chances to learn and become stronger. When you're having a hard time, think about the problems you've solved in the past. Remember these things and use them to keep you strong and motivated. Develop a positive dialogue inside your head. Talking to yourself in a certain way can change how you see things and how well you can handle them. A positive inner conversation makes you feel more in control of your life and less likely to feel like you're being victimized. How to use. Say positive things to yourself and replace negative thoughts with statements. As an example, don't say, "Why does this always happen to me?" Instead say, "I am strong enough to handle this." Set and work toward goals that matter. It gives you a sense of direction and purpose to have clear, important goals. It moves your attention from feeling helpless to making plans for a better future. How to use. Write down your short and long-term goals. Break them up into jobs you can handle and enjoy your progress, no matter how small. To get rid of the victim mindset, you have to consciously change your view from feeling helpless to feeling empowered. People can change their mindset and live a more fulfilling life by taking responsibility for their actions, focusing on the present, becoming more resilient, having positive conversations with themselves, and setting important goals. Stoicism has helpful ideas that can help people make this change, giving them back control over their lives and actions. Number 4. The judgemental. Some people are judgmental because they look at others through a lens that doesn't include empathy or deep understanding. They are selfish and don't know themselves well enough to realize that each person is a unique being with strengths, weaknesses, and their own set of circumstances. Big toe. One of the famous Stoic philosophers said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. He not only stresses how important it is to listen, but also how important it is to be quiet before passing judgment. He says that silence gives us time to think about our words and how they affect others. In reality, many people don't realize how hurtful their judgmental comments are to others. Alex, a young street artist, is a great example of how harmful judgment can be. Alex has a very unique sense of style and often wears bright clothes. When he posts pictures of himself on Instagram, he gets a lot of bad feedback. Instead of being praised, many people attack his style, saying it's not right or unique enough. Alex is feeling alone and is losing his confidence and imagination. The mean comments don't make things better. Instead, they make him more pessimistic. This shows that criticism not only hurts people's minds, it can also destroy someone who is trying to make the world a better place through art. So, before you judge others, have you ever thought about whether you know enough about their situation and feelings? This is something that all of us who follow the Stoic philosophy should think about every day, because in the end, judging others shows that you don't understand them and that you lack self-control. Judging others doesn't help us and takes away our chances to grow and build good relationships with others. Remember that kindness and understanding are always more valuable than criticism and judgment. Please let us know what you think about this. Have you ever been unfairly judged by someone else, or realized that you were judging others without understanding them enough? Please share your experiences and ideas on how to avoid judging others and instead develop greater understanding and empathy in your daily life. Your contributions are greatly appreciated by our community. Number 5. The criticiser. Have you ever felt like, in a case where you had to constant criticism without understanding why it's being given is either constructive feedback or an attempt to put others down? In Stoic philosophy, we are told to approach criticiser calmly and purposefully, using it to improve ourselves without letting it hurt our souls. But the criticiser isn't just giving constructive criticism. They often use criticism as a tool to put others down and control them. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and famous Stoic philosopher, said that the goal of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to avoid becoming one of the insane. He talks about the best way to deal with criticism, using it to improve yourself rather than hurting others. This requires self-control, self-awareness, and the ability to tell the difference between useful criticism and useless negativity. By following Marcus Aurelius's advice, we not only learn how to accept feedback better, but also how to keep healthy relationships with the people around us, which creates a more positive and supportive environment for work and life. However, the critics we're talking about here are the ones who are always trying to bring out other people's flaws without trying to help or make things better. For those around them, this not only makes things tense, but it also hurts their self-esteem. They might criticize you to change how other people see you, which could have a big effect on your relationships and chances to grow as a person. What do you think about how to deal with these kinds of critics if we give them power in this way? Think about this and ask yourself if you're letting negative criticism affect your life. In the Stoic way of life, we learn to focus on what we can control and let go of wants that aren't important. But there are people who are always wanting other people to succeed. They often try to make other people's accomplishments seem less important out of envy, which makes them feel better about their own lack. We'll talk about why these people don't deserve our trust and respect, as well as how to stay honest without letting their envy affect us. We often run into people in our daily lives who are good at pointing out mistakes, flaws, and other problems. Sometimes we call these people the criticizers because they have a big impact on how we think and act. No matter how they mean, critics can be helpful or harmful, so learning how to deal with them in a calm way can be very helpful. Stoicism teaches us to stay calm and at peace with ourselves, no matter what is going on around us. Know what the criticism is trying to say. Not all criticism is meant to be harmful. Some people who criticize us really want to help us get better by showing us where we're lacking. It's important to know the difference between helpful and destructive criticism. Stoic principle. Figure out what the person criticizing you is trying to say. Marcus Aurelius said that we should listen to feedback because it might have some truth in it that can help us become better people. Pay attention to what you can change. You can't change what other people think or say, but you can change how you respond to them. Instead of trying to change the person who is criticizing you, focus on what you are doing and how you are responding. Epictetus taught us to only worry about what we can control and let go of what we can't. This is called the Stoic principle. This includes what other people think. Keep your emotions in check. Criticizing someone can make you feel strong emotions like anger, frustration, or sadness. Try not to let your feelings get the best of you and react calmly. Stoic principle. Seneca stressed how important it was to stay calm and not let outside events upset our inner peace. When you're calm, you can take criticism better. Criticism can help you learn and grow. Critiques should be used to help you think about yourself and grow. If you look at it the right way, even harsh feedback can teach you something useful. The Stoic principle says that Marcus Aurelius thought that everything, even criticism, could help a person grow. Seize the chance to improve yourself by using it. Use understanding and empathy in your daily life. Try to see things from the critic's point of view. They might be putting their own fears or bad experiences onto others. Being empathetic can help you react with more grace and smarts. Stoic principle. Seneca pushed for humanity and understanding, saying that we should think about why other people do and say the things they do. Being patient and kind can help you deal with this. There will always be criticism in our lives, but how we deal with it can have a big impact on our happiness and growth. We can turn feedback from something that makes us feel bad into something that helps us get better by taking a stoic stance toward it. Remember to know what the other person is trying to do. Keep your emotions in check. Learn and grow from the experience and show understanding. These rules will help you deal with the problems that people who criticize you bring up in a graceful and smart way. Number 6. The envious. Jealousy is a strong and often negative feeling that can mess up our lives in unexpected ways. For example, you might not like seeing your neighbor win a free vacation or your coworker get a promotion quickly. According to the Stoic philosophy, jealousy is a feeling that often stays in the background and is made up of fear, insecurity, and comparison. It hurts trust and intimacy between people and can also cause them to mistake jealousy for healthy competition or arrogance from the other person. To deal with this, psychologists say we should learn to spot the clear signs that someone is jealous of us. This will help us handle the situation more wisely and effectively. Jealousy is not only a problem with other people, but it also shows that you don't know what happiness and success are really like. Marcus Aurelius was a philosopher who once said that all you need to live a happy life is to change the way you think. Being blindly jealous takes away our peace of mind and makes it hard to see the true value in our own lives. People who are jealous often see the success of others as an indirect criticism of themselves. They don't realize that success is a personal journey and has nothing to do with comparison. Forget about their own accomplishments and ideals and choose instead for never-ending comparisons. People who follow a stoic lifestyle are told to work on themselves and enjoy their own successes without needing approval from others. To do this, they need to stop basing their self-worth on the successes of others and start recognizing and appreciating the process of striving and self-improvement. Seeing Stoicism not only helps us get over our feelings of jealousy, but it also gives us true mental freedom. Have you ever felt jealous? How do you deal with it? Let's talk about the lessons we can learn from Stoicism and how they can help us deal with this emotion. Number 7. The gossipmonger. Imagine you're in a quiet cafe when all of a sudden you hear a group of people at the table next to you talking about someone's private life. Their words keep going through your mind, bothering you and unintentionally building a web of anger and misunderstanding in the Stoic philosophy. The chatter people think that monger is the cause of a lot of unnecessary trouble because they use words to hurt and control others instead of to help and support them. For example, Andrew, an office worker, became famous not for his professionalism or great work, but for regularly spreading rumors and slander about his co-workers. Andrew didn't just share information, he also made up subtle versions of the truth. This behavior not only lost him respect from those around him, but it also caused suspicion and conflict in the office. People started to doubt each other, and what was once a friendly and helpful place to work turned tense and hostile, totally full of schemes. The lesson in Andrew's story is that words can hurt not only the person who says them, but also the person who hears them. The bad effects of spreading rumors go beyond personal relationships and affect whole communities, making it harder for people to talk to each other and interact. What do you think about doing something when you hear someone say bad things about someone else? Should we stay quiet or speak out to defend the truth? Stoicism tells us that the best way to keep our peace is to avoid gossipers and their dangerous game of words. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, we should stay strong and not let this negativity affect our lives. If outside things bother you, it's not those things themselves that bother you. It's your judgment of them, and you have the power to get rid of that judgment. So, to sum up, gossipers are not worthy of our trust or respect. They have chosen to cause harm instead of helping the group grow. In this constantly changing world, we need to find true friends who will not only keep us warm, but also help us build a better future together. Everyone wants friends who will be there for them through good times and bad. But not everyone is strong enough to handle life's storms. Some friends are like passing breezes. They only show up when the sun is out and go away when the clouds come in. They are gentle, fair-weather friends who can't handle the storm. Let's look at this harsh reality through the lens of Stoic philosophy to understand that not every relationship is worth our trust and respect. Number 8. The fair-weathered friend. Have you ever thought about why some friendships end so quickly when things go wrong, or why some people only show up when they need you and leave when you need them? The fair-weathered friend is someone who seems friendly and helpful when things are going well, but quietly disappears when things go wrong. These kinds of relationships don't deserve our respect or trust because they aren't based on truth, loyalty, and commitment. We can see examples of fair-weathered friends every day. For example, you might have a co-worker who is always excited to hang out with you when you're paying for the fancy restaurants and movie theaters, but when it's their turn to pay, they suddenly have important things to do, leaving you feeling cheated. Or you might have a friend who always tells you about their successes and wants praise, but when you're having a hard time and need support or someone to lean on, this friend is never there. These examples show how one-sided relationships can be and how important real support is when you need it the most. To live a meaningful and happy life, we need to be able to support ourselves and not depend on other people's approval or presence. This makes you wonder, are you still in any relationships that only help when things are going well and leave you when you need them the most? Life can be lonely at times, But that's when we can really tell who our real friends are. Friends who have been through a lot. May make things better when the sun is out, but only a real friend can help you get through a storm. Honor the people you care about and learn to let go of those who don't deserve your trust and respect. We meet different kinds of people and form different kinds of relationships along the way. The friend who is only there when things are going well stands out as the sunny friend. Friendships like these don't have the depth and strength to handle the problems that come up in life. Knowing what these kinds of friendships are like and what they mean for us can help us make better social choices and build stronger, more important relationships. Learn to read the signs. Fair-weathered friends will usually only interact with you when things are going well for you. During hard times, they might leave or become distant. Not enough. Help. These friends don't come through for you when you need mental or practical help the most. You can only have them there if things are going well for you. Learn about the effects. Emotional drain. Relying on friends who are moody can make you feel abandoned and emotionally worn out because their uneven support can make you feel alone when things are tough. Loss of trust. If someone acts in different ways at different times, it can hurt your trust in their bonds and make it harder to connect with others in a real way. Protect yourself. Expectations. Made clear. Tell your friends what you expect from them in terms of mutual support. Tell them how much you value friends who are there for you through good times and bad. Limit your dependence. Don't put too much of your emotional or physical needs on friends who are moody. Be aware of their limitations and change your standards to fit. Hey, look for real connections. Quality over quantity. Try to build ties with people who are loyal, caring, and trustworthy. You should have a few true friends instead of a lot of fake ones, supporting each other. Make friends with people who can give and receive help. Real friends are the ones who will always be there for you, no matter what. Thoughts on oneself. Think about your role. Think about how you treat your friends. Make sure you're not a friend who only hangs out with you when the mood strikes, and try to be a reliable source of support. Personal growth. Use the time you spend with friends who aren't very reliable as a chance to improve yourself. Learn to put ties that make your life better and improve your health at the top of your list. To build meaningful and helpful connections, it's important to understand and deal with the dynamics of fair-weathered friendships. By reading the signs, setting limits, looking for real relationships, and thinking about how we act, we can be smarter in our social lives and make real friends who will be there for us through all of life's ups and downs. Number 9. The flatterer. In Stoic thought, being real and honest are the most important things. The Stoics think that being around true and honest people is important for progressing in life and staying at peace with yourself. There are many types of people who can hurt your character and health, but the flatterer stands out. Flatterers are people who give others too many compliments and praise, often not real, in order to control or gain favor. Anyone who wants to live a Stoic life needs to understand how flatterers work and learn how to deal with them. Find out. If the praise is sincere. People who like to flatter others often give others too much praise that isn't deserved. They may praise you on things you know aren't true or say nice things about you that aren't true. The first step in finding a flatterer is to be able to tell the difference between real thanks and flattery. Real praise is specific and based on facts, while lying is usually general and exaggerated. Figure out what drives them. People who give too many praises usually have a reason behind them. Their goal could be to trick you, get your favor, or use you to their own gain. You can better protect yourself from their impact if you know why they do what they do. Think about why the person is praising you so much and what they can get from it. Ask for real feedback. Spend time with people who give you honest, helpful feedback instead of praise all the time. Flattery can make you feel good about yourself and make you feel like you're better than others, but honest comments can help you grow and get better. Get close to people who won't be afraid to tell you the truth, even if it makes you feel bad. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep an honest opinion of yourself and stay true to your own beliefs and principles. Being aware of your skills and weaknesses and having faith in your own worth makes you less vulnerable to being swayed by flatterers. Remember that real self-improvement comes from inside, not from getting approval from other people. Practice. Being humble. Being humble is an important Stoic trait that can keep you safe from the bad effects of flattery. When you show humility, you admit that you can grow and get better, even if other people praise you. This way of thinking helps you stay focused on your own growth and not let other people's views affect you as much. If you want to live a Stoic life, you need to be careful of people who flatter you and give you fake praise. You can avoid being manipulated by flatterers if you can spot fake compliments, figure out why someone is giving you praise in the first place, ask for honest feedback, stay grounded in reality, and be humble. Honesty and authenticity should guide your relationships, and you should surround yourself with people who help you grow and be healthy. Before we start our journey into the world of flatterers in our minds and beliefs, let's take a moment to think about how important trust and respect are in life. We always look for people who deserve our trust and respect. But can we tell the difference between those who are only out for themselves? In today's world, flattery is a common thing. People put on a show of praise and fake understanding to get our trust and respect. But if we trust them, we might lose confidence and fall for their tricks. One clear example of the danger of flatterers is people who work in businesses and use praise to pull others into their vortex. They may feed off of our desire for praise and progress, but they really just want to use us to reach their own goals. Their lies are a trap that we often fall into without realizing it. We need to learn to spot and avoid this trickery. So how do we deal with flatterers? The best thing we can do might be to stay alert and critical. We need to carefully consider every compliment and kind word, and not just believe them without giving them a lot of thought. Finally, as we continue to learn more about ourselves and explore, keep in mind that every task is a chance to grow. Recognizing and distinguishing between truth and falsehood is not just a lesson, but also a significant step in building a meaningful and trustworthy life. If we pause to reflect and face the truth, we have the opportunity to broaden our horizons and grasp what truly matters in life. Be strong and determined, for as Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become in life." Determining who is trustworthy and worthy of respect is an important part of building relationships and limiting the influence of those with negative attitudes. However, according to Stoic philosophy,